Hi everybody, Paul Davis here at the Firefighter Combat Challenge, where we're taking a look at the brand new start system. Last several months we put a lot of effort into building the true state-of-the-art drag race Christmas tree start system. Let's take a look at how it works.
Is a stage block in which you step into and literally have a light that turns on and tells you that you're staged, you're ready to run. Your competitor will do exactly the same. Upon entering those blocks, you'll step in, you get a white staging light, your competitor steps in, gets a white staging light, and then it immediately starts to go down through a countdown, just as a drag race. You'll get 2 amber warning lights or staging lights, and then the green light. So every run will be the same. The timing will be the same from stage point to start point. If you leave early, in other words, if you were to lift your foot off of your staging block, you get a red light. That red light indicates a 5-second penalty because it's an early leave. If you remove the pack from the ground, if you touch the if you touch the high-rise pack, you literally have red lighted. You no longer touch the high-rise pack nor the ground with your fingers. It is basically a drag race start. You watch your lights, and upon green, pick up your high-rise pack and begin your race.
What's going to happen with the starting process is I'll call you up to make the adjustments on the pack so it's set where you're going to want it. I will back both competitors off the pads. I will come up and reset the system so that it's ready for staging. Then you'll come up, get on the pads, illuminate your staging lights, and it's out of my hands. It's in the competitor's hands, and they will do the start. The system runs it on a timer. It's consistent, it's the same every time. When you're on the pads and ready to go, the start takes over.
The way our new start system integrates with the Algae timing system, when a green light's achieved, it instantly starts the time clock, and at the same time the clocks begin, the siren sounds, obviously, so you have an audible as well as a visual start cue. At the end of the race, the Algae does as it always has. When the magnet on the feet goes over the finish pad, it will stop the clock system. So we no longer have control from when you stage until you finish the race. It's all in your hands.
I really didn't have any problem with it. I thought it was a nice start in that I could be moving at the start. It wasn't a static start. I was actually moving towards the hose as the start started. You had to make sure that your feet were placed properly on the pads so that the lights remained lit and you didn't get a red start. But I wasn't in a stuck position like I had to be with my hands on the mats before. When you had to have your hands on those sensors, you were locked in. You had to wait for the other guy. This way, as soon as the lights light up, you can start moving towards the pack. And when I did it, as soon as I saw the lights starting to move, started moving towards the pack. By the time I got there, the start had started, and I was moving, picked up the pack, and went. So I thought it was a very good system. It's something new. Guys will have to get used to it, but I think it was still a good start. Once guys get used to it, I think they're going to like it better than the old way.
And I feel the same way. From my standpoint, being taller and having to put my hands down and kind of having to look up, to me, my flexibility is not the best. But if you can get like this, and like you said, you see the Christmas tree, you can kind of time it as long as you keep your feet planted on the surface. You can start going, and before you know it, the bell's going off, and you're up on your shoulder, and you can explode up. It's more like you said, more of a dynamic start,
right? As opposed to a static. So kind of a rolling start. You're like almost preloading with the crouch down when you're moving. It's kind of everything preloading and springing off. So
I think it was fair. I thought everybody's going to learn and you're going to grow with it. But once you see it a few times in practice, you can. I mean, once you get the video, you start practicing and work with it.
Yeah, so I think once guys start practicing with it, they'll like it better than the old way.
To review the start process one more time, the competitor steps onto the staging blocks, gets his staging light, and assumes whatever stance that he would like prior to race. He will get an amber, a second amber, and a green. At that point, he picks his pack up and begins his run.